So today we have to discuss divide and conquer approach, and you can see in the diagram uh, how we are going to handle this divide and conquer approach. You all are aware that this approach is having huge importance for solving the problem in computer science field. Even it is relevant in many other areas also. So in the diagram you can see here uh, problem is being divided. If problem is a kind of complex problem, so it is being divided into some set of sub problems, and then we are finding the solution, and then after that we are going to combine them, right? Then we are going to combine them. So this is the basic philosophy behind divide and conquer approach. Let's look at the history part of it. So divide and conquer is derived from divide and rule. And if you look at the use of divide and rule, so it was used by here you can see Roman ruler Julius Caesar and the French Emperor Napoleon. They have used this policy, divide and rule, right? And divide and conquer is derived from divide and rule only. So you can see divide and conquer is first used in 1946 1946 by scientist John Mauchly in his article. And the motto of the article is finding the back dates with the help of sorted list of items. So those who are interested, they can read this article and maybe they will be able to know that how he has done. And in computer science field, divide and conquer approach is being used as a paradigm to solve the complex problem by breaking them recursively into a smaller set of problems. So if you look at the definition, so you can have a look like in computer science, divide and conquer is an algorithm design paradigm. A divide and conquer algorithm recursively breaks down a problem into two or more subproblems until it becomes simple enough to be solved directly. So this is important for us. We are going to divide the problem into sub problems until we are able to solve it very easily. Now if we look at the major components in this approach, divide and conquer, so you can see there are three major components here: divide, conquer, and combine. So in the divide part, what we do: divide the problem into a number of sub problems, and conquer the sub problems by solving them recursively. So conquer, basically it is having the dealing with the recursive steps involved in that. And what it does, it breaks the problem into number of sub problems till we are able to solve them very easily. And then the last step, combine the solution of the sub problems into the solution of the original problem. So here first step is used to divide the problem into number of sub problems, and then find out the solution. Conquer step tells the to find out the solutions, and then combine step, we have we use here to combine the solutions of the sub problem for finding the solution of original problem. This is the basic philosophy behind, I mean, these are the major components in the divide and conquer approach. And when we have some recursive steps in any algorithm, then what we do, we try to write the recurrence relation for solving that for finding the complexity of the problem. If any problem, if we are going to write the algorithm of it, and it is having some recursive step, then to analyze the time complexity of the algorithm, what we do, we try to write the recurrence relation, and it is very easy to analyze the complexity of recursive algorithms with the help of recurrence relations. So already we have discussed the components used in divide and conquer approach, and if we are going to let's incorporate the or deal the let's contribution of these three components in the recurrence relation, so we can see it like this. So let's tn is the running time of a problem size n, so n indicates the input size or maybe size of the problem. So if you are going to write the recurrence relation, so you have to look for how many times, how many parts of this recursive steps are being called. So here a t n by b, that is this one is indicating the recursion, I mean recursive components, and dn indicates the division cost, and cn indicates the combining cost. So after observing this figure, you can see that here we are going to divide the problem into three sub problems, and then we are finding the solution, and then we are combining here for finding the solution of the original problem. So here this portion is indicating the division, and then finding the solution is the conquer, and then this one is indicating the combining. So division, I mean recursive steps, is indicated with the help of this in the function with the let's say tn, I mean function of t. So here tn is going to be broken into t of n by b. So by observing this figure, you can see what will be the value of a and b if we are assuming that these size are equal. Maybe they are of same size, and number of sub problems are 3, then here a will be equal to 3 and b will also be equal to 3. And dn and cn indicates the division and combining cost. So uh, when we have an array and it contains some number of elements, if we are going to divide it from the mid of this array, so we are not have to do any I mean complex computations. Just simply we have to use the first index and then the last index. We have to find out the midpoint for division. So you can see division cost is not going to have much complexity, because it is using taking some constant time to divide the array. But here combining cost is associated with the merging of the list. So merging of the list will have its time complexity, and it is something order of n. Those who are not able to get it how it is going to be order of n, then it will be clear. It will be clear because in the coming slides we'll discuss. So with the help of this diagram, we can see a is equal to 3, b is equal to 3. Combining cost, dividing cost are associated. So this is the way to write the recurrence relation for any algorithm which are having some recursive steps and all. And of course, if the problem size is very small, then we can say that it will take something very nominal time, I mean nominal cost, and which is indicated with order of 1. Now before discussing the algorithm, I mean analysis of time complexity of this merge sort algorithm with the help of divide and conquer approach. First, we have to learn the working of this algorithm. So look at this picture. You can see the number of elements are given. So here it it can be seen as a problem. It can be seen as a problem. Now we are going to split them into sub problems. So here sub problem, then sub problem, and then here sub problem, like this. So we are splitting the numbers till each array containing the single element. And of course, if we are having the one element in the array, then one element is, of course, by default it is in the sorted order. So these divisions are going to take order of one time, order of one, constant time. Now here, these combining steps you can see here. When we are going to combine them, so we have to compare 2 with 4. 2 is smaller, so 2 here inserted. Now 4 and 5, we have to combine 4 and 5, so 4 is smaller, inserted, and then 4 is smaller, then inserted, and then we have to combine 5 and 7. 5 is smaller, inserted here, and then 7 is inserted here. So you can see combining these steps, these sub list of elements are taking some time. And similarly, you can see here these are the sub list, and we are going to combine again. So its combining cost is, if number of elements, total number of elements are n, then we can say that its combining cost is going to be order of n. Now, as we have seen in the previous slide, the very generic form of recurrence relation is something ATN by V plus division cost D of n plus combining cost C of n. Now, if we are going to write it for merge sort, write it for merge sort especially, then what we have to do, we have to find out the value of A and value of B. So you can see in every step, list is divided into two parts. In every step, list is being divided into two parts. So you can see the value of A will be 2. And now for finding the value of B, we have to look at the size of the sub problem. So size of the sub problem, we can see it is being divided into equal number of elements. Each sublist is going to contain almost equal number of elements. So that means here B is also going to be 2, because in the problem you can see there are 8 elements, and sub problems containing the 4 elements, similarly 2 elements, and so on. So here value of A and value of B will be 2. Now dividing and combining cost. So dividing and combining cost can be find out like something, division cost is something order of 1, and plus combining cost is something order of n. So overall we can say that it will be order of n. Yeah, maybe if you are going to deal it with the talking about average case, so maybe you can represent it with theta. So here, for finding the recurrence relation for this merge sort, we can write it like 2t n by 2 plus, let's maybe order of n, or maybe theta of n, anything you can write. And further you can simplify it like you can write it like Tn plus 2Tn by sorry, Tn is equal to 2Tn by 2, and here C of n. So this portion is indicating the combining and dividing cost. If we are going to evaluate this one Tn, then we will be able to find out the time complexity of this merge sort, uh, right? So look at here. This is the recurrence relation, and those who are having any confusion related to combining and dividing, so in the next slide it will be more clear to you. Now this is the recurrence relation for merge sort, and after computing the time complexity, it will be something order of n log n. It will be something order of n log n. Now look at here. If we are going to deal it with the help of recurrence relation, so every time splitting is going to be done like this. Here, like this, and then further splitting T of n by 4, similarly T of n by 4, and here T of n by 4, T of n by 4, and so on. It will be done like this, it will be done like this, and in the end you have seen here, uh, after let's dividing the elements, we are dividing it till all the sub lists are containing only one element. So that means here also it is going to, let's contribute some constant time complexity like this here. And the cost associated with each step is Cn, because you can write it like 2T n by 2 plus Cn, as already we have discussed. So each layer is contributing this much cost. Otherwise you can express it like this way also, Cn, and then here C n by 2 n by 2, and then further here C n 2 raised to the power 2, C n divided by 2 raised to the power 2, or maybe you can write n by 4, so C n divided by 2 raised to the power 2, C n 2 raised to the power 2, and so on. And in the last step, in the very last step, each uh, sub list will be contributing some time complexity C. Now in between, if we are talking about some ith label, so it will be something Cn divided by 2 raised to the power I, divided by 2 raised to the power I. So cost associated with each label, if you are going to add them, I mean this one, and then going to add this one, going to add this one, similarly this one, and here also, so you can see these all steps are going to contribute Cn. If you are going to add them, then you will find Cn. So here Cn, that means how many C's are there? N C's are there. Total number of N C's are there. Now, if we are willing to find out the height of if we are willing to find out the height of this tree, let's assume that h, then how we can find the height. So let me erase it, and then we can calculate the height of the tree. Although it is very obvious, it is going to be log n, but uh, this is one of the simplest case. Every time it is not going to be that much simple, so we have to look for a very, let's say, systematic way to find out the height. So here, let's n is the problem size, and if height is h, then this is the hth label which is contributing, unicast c. So here, let me write it in a more appropriate way. So guys, you can see here c n divided by 2 raised to the power h, and it is tending to c, because this portion is going to be equal to 1. This portion is going to be equal to 1. Look at here, h is the height, hth label. So this portion, I mean, this is n, problem size n, and we are going to divide it 2 raised to the power h. So we have to find out the value of h for which this one is going to be equal to n, 1. So look at here, these c can be cancelled out, and now here n divided by 2 raised to the power h will tend to 1, or maybe equal to 1. So you can write it like n is equal to 2 raised to the power h. Now take the log at the base to both sides. So you can see log base to n is equal to h, because I think it is clear, because if you are going to write it like this, then it will be something h. So this is has been done here. Now look at here, height of the tree will be equal to log n, of course, base 2. Height of the tree will be equal to log n. Now if we look at the number of labels, then we can count it like 0th label, first level, second level, and this is hth level. This is hth level. So that means if I mean height of the tree is h, then number of labels will be h plus 1. If height of the tree is h, then number of labels will be h plus 1. Now let me, what we can do, by combining the cost of each step, we can calculate the time complexity. So you can see number of labels are h plus 1, which can be written like log base to n plus 1. So number of labels are log n plus 1, and each labels are contributing this much cost. Each labels are contributing this much cost. So if we are going to calculate the time complexity, so we have to, I mean, uh, use the cost of each label, summation of cost of each label. So each labels are contributing this much cost, and number of labels are log n plus 1. So if we are going to express it, so it will be something Cn maybe log n plus Cn. Now you can see the dominating term in this expression. This one is the dominating term. This one is the dominating term. So maybe you can write Tn is equal to C n log n. C n log n. Now, if we are going to write the time complexity of this algorithm, so it can be written like Tn is equal to some theta of n log n. You can write theta of n log n, or maybe you can write order of n log n, because merge sort time complexity is same in both the cases, whether you are going to consider the worst case or maybe you are going to consider the average case. You are going to consider the average case, it is same. So you can write either theta notation, or maybe you can write the big O notation. So this is the computation of time complexity of merge sort algorithm. And of course we have used the let's algorithm paradigm that is based on divide and conquer approach. Divide and conquer approach. So let me talk about those who are not very clear about the algorithm. So let me show the algorithm. So you have seen that array is given like this, number of elements are there, and P is the initial index and R is the last index, and this is the name of the array. Now here there are two functions for finding the sorting the list of elements using merge sort. So here merge sort using three parameters: A, name of the array, and P is the first index, R is the last index. And this second function is just for merging the list, taking the parameter A, P, and Q is the midpoint and R is the last index. Now look at here. This is the division step. It is what it is going to do. It is going to divide the problem into sub problems. So what simply we are doing, we are adding the first index and last index, and then we are dividing it by 2. And after doing this step, we are able to divide the problem into two sub problems, and these two steps are recursive steps. So here you can see, like, it is, if it is Tn, then it is going to be Tn by 2, Tn by 2. And this last step will be associated with every merge sort step for merging the list. Like, we have to merge these two lists, and if we are going to if we are going to divide it further, then also after solving them, it will be required to merge. So merging will be required here also. So this merging operation will be called. Now look at here. This division is taking something, order of 1, because single step there is no much cost is associated here. It is taking constant time, and these are the recursive steps being dealt with Tn by 2, then Tn by 4, and so on. Now look at about merging. So here we are having two numbers n1 and n2, and having the length of, let's divided sublist, So here n1, n2, and one more size. Maybe if we are going to divide them into two parts and calling them, let's L and R. then their size is something, n1 plus 1 and n2 plus 1. Look at here, n1 plus 1 and n2 plus 1. And what we are going to do, we are going to copy the value for I equal to n1, 1 to n1. So 1 to n1, that means starting from here to till here, uh, from the list. This is the division, so starting from here to here it will be in the L, and then from here to here it will be into the R, and then the last index. Look at here, these two steps, I mean line number 4 to 5 for L and line number 6 to 7 for R. Now 8 and 9 step, uh, is used to put the sentinel. Sentinel is something, very large value, and it is indicated with the infinity, so that if we are going to compare this infinity with the element which is 1 to n2, or maybe from 1 to n1, so it will be greater. So that means easily we can club the elements, you can see in the lower part of the algorithm. So further we are initializing I equal to 1 and then j equal to 1, and then for k equal to p to r. So this k index is moving from this p to r, and what we are going to do, we are going to combine the elements from the sublist. So here sublists are something like, let's here it is 1, maybe 3, and here 5, and let's here this is a sublist, and elements are in the second sublist is 2, 4 and 6, or maybe here infinity. And if you are going to combine, so of course if you are going to combine this list and counting the, I mean adding these number of elements, then it is going to be total R, excluding this infinity, because it is extra elements are added for the comparing point of view. Now look at here, if we are going to merge them, then this algorithm moves from P to R. That means if there are n elements in this list, if there are n elements in this list, then that means it will run n times. It will run n times. Now look at here, this is L and this is R. Compare Li with Rj. If Li is smaller than Rj, then insert it. Now 1 is inserted. Now look at here, increasing the value of I equal to I plus 1. So I is moved here. Suppose that here index I and this is index j. I is moved here. Now compare 3 with 2. So this condition is not true. Then you will move into the else part and will insert 2, and then j will move, and so on. So in the end you'll find that 3, 4, 5 and 6. 6 will come by comparing with the infinity. So this 6 will be compared with this infinity, and then you'll find that after clubbing these values, this k will be greater than n. K will be greater than n, and then this algorithm will terminate. So you can see, the contribution of this algorithm in terms of its cost, it's going to be order of n. And division we have already discussed, and recursive steps are already we have discussed. So here Tn, that's the reason we are able to write it. Tn is equal to 2Tn by 2 plus order of n. So this is the philosophy behind this merge sort algorithm, and it's working with the help of let's divide and conquer approach. Now guys, let me tell you few more things. That is, it is not necessary that this algorithm, it is not necessary that we are every time going to have the recurrence relation like this only. I mean, if we are going to apply it for the quick sort, because quick sort is also based on the divide and conquer approach. If you remember that working of quick sort algorithm, it is also based on divide and conquer approach. But in quick sort, it is not necessary that every time we are going to divide the list into equal half. It is not necessary that uh, it this division can be something like, first part is containing this much element and second part is containing this much element. Now in further division, maybe first part is containing one element and this one is containing this much element, and this part is something, divided into equal half. So there are many scenarios, and if we are going to consider the worst case part of this quicksort algorithm, so you can see it like every time, when we are going to divide the array, so it is going to contain one element in this side and remaining n minus one elements in this side. Now for in this division, I mean, when we talk about the quicksort, so we use the single array. There is no uh, intermediate arrays has been created like L and R. We created in the merge sort. We are not going to create in the quicksort. So what we have to do, we have to think in terms of what will be the dividing cost and combining cost for quicksort algorithm. So here, for dividing the array into two parts, what we do when we do the division in it, so at the division point, suppose that this is the division point and this is containing the element, let's value p. So whatever the elements will be in the left side, the elements in the left side will be smaller than p, and the elements will be uh, right side will be bigger than p. So that means the elements, I mean, uh, this p is not going to move in the division, it will be stay here only. So if we are going to write, we are going to interpret the uh, let's dividing cost and combining cost of this algorithm, so it will be something like dividing cost will be something, order of n, and combining cost will be something order of, because there is no combining cost, so it will be something constant or maybe nil. It will be something nil. So it will be something, tn is equal to, we can write it like 2t. If it is being divided into equal half, then it will be tn equal to 2tn by 2 plus order of n. So that's it for today's class, and we'll discuss in detail in some other class. If you have any doubt, you can ask.